The Raiders made some roster moves following Amari Cooper's retirement. Ashton Jeanty ready to run through a mother face.
Think there's a deeper metaphor there?
Run through a motherfucker face.
Derek Carr talks about his time with the Raiders, and Mark Davis admits to wanting Tom Brady back in 2020. Yo, what is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Samar Raider back at it again with yet another video. If this is the very first time you guys are coming across the channel and you love Raiders content, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. That being said, first things first, let's talk about some recent roster moves that the Raiders made as of today. According to Mike Ruffalo, the Raiders have elevated Justin Shorter to the 53-man roster. Now, this move does come right after Amari Cooper wanted to quit on the team right before the season, but you know what, that's besides the point. I don't really see him making any type of splash just yet, and who knows how long he's going to be on the 53. But hey, at least he gets to be on the roster going into week 1. Now, the Raiders have officially added Amari Cooper to the reserve/retired list. That being said, I talked about who could the Raiders bring in to at least provide some depth on the roster, especially in the wide receiver room. And ironically enough, the Raiders brought in somebody that I talked about yesterday, wide receiver Phillip Dorsett. Now, Phillip Dorsett was added and signed to the practice squad, so welcome on back. I'm pretty sure that the Raiders might elevate him to the main roster. We'll see. But I do like the move in general. Dorsett was definitely not a bad option for the Raiders throughout preseason, throughout training camp, so it's good to see him back on the roster. He's familiar with the team already, and he does provide that veteran presence. Who knows if the Raiders are going to go out and bring in somebody, maybe a bigger name. I talked about Kendrick Bourne yesterday. I know OBJ's name has been flying around, but I just feel like the Raiders have something up their sleeve at the receiver position. But depending on what the Raiders do this weekend with the 4 receivers that we have on the roster right now is definitely going to determine what they do in the future. That being said, though, I want to talk about our first round pick and star running back Ashton Jeanty. He spoke today and basically said that he's ready to go out there and show the league why he was the top guy drafted at his position, and even said that he was a little psychotic.
What do you mean by that?
Saying, I don't really shy away from contact, and once I make my read, I get north and south quickly. If you're in the way, that's your fault. Everybody doesn't like that. I don't know why I like it. Maybe I'm a little bit psychotic. And they let me know every single day that I'm the guy. They're counting on me to do some special things in this offense. And we definitely are, especially drafting a running back that high up in the draft. Even though I was kind of opposed to it in the beginning, looking at the offense that we do have right now, especially with the running back of Ashton Jeanty's caliber, of course, we're going to expect a lot of great things. And I know we've only got to see a little bit of Ashton Jeanty throughout the preseason. Some good, some bad. But overall, this is going to be the first time we get to see Ashton Jeanty just play a full game. He gets to wear down opposing defenses. And he even said in the fourth quarter, that's where he shines. That's where he goes out there and just runs through a motherfucker face when people are tired. So just to hear that, you know, Jeanty has that mentality going into this first game, you know, reminds us so much of beast mode. And if he can do what beast mode did in Seattle under Pete Carroll over here in Las Vegas, oh my goodness, defenses better beware. So as for Jeanty, man, Raider Nation, I want to ask you guys, how many yards do you think Ashton Jeanty is going to have this season? And do you see him being the top rookie running back this year? Let me know down in the comments below. Now moving on to a former Raider and everybody's favorite quarterback, Derek Carr. Now Derek Carr was on a podcast with his brother and they talked about a lot of things, and one main thing that he brought up was his time with the Raiders and how he felt like this was going to be the team that he was going to go to and retire from.
So you've talked about before that you were ready to spend your entire career with one team.
Yeah.
And it was the Raiders.
Yeah.
Why? Why the Raiders? Why were they so important?
Well, you know, it's funny. I just talked to Mark Davis yesterday. Just called him. You know, we check in. You know, keep a great relationship, and one of the things we both said is like the respect we have for one another and how much love we have for that place, you know, is second to none. I would love to see someone love the Raiders more than me. You know, good luck. I knew I was called to that place, and so that was my situation. Those are the cards I was dealt, and I loved it. And so my love for the Raiders is deep in my heart. When I go back home, it was like, I'm a Raider, you know, and everyone would agree with that.
Now, of course, you know, at the end of the day, I still got a lot of love for Derek Carr, and I know that relationship has been a rocky road as a Raider fan. Shit, as for me as well, being one of his top supporters to being frustrated with him at the end of his career with the Raiders, he definitely brought a lot of memories to this team, and I felt like he at least brought some stability to a position that wasn't really stable for many, many years. So I got to give him kudos for that. Like I said, he did a lot and gave his all to this team, and I just got to respect that at the end of the day, and I still do. And one of the main reasons why, like I said, I was frustrated at the end of his career is because I started to open my eyes up a little bit more, and I noticed that he wasn't going to get us anywhere. Insanity is doing something over and over and over again, expecting different results. And that's how it felt watching Derek Carr. To a point, it just seemed like everything was just not perfect around him, and it wasn't perfect around him, but he seemed like a certain quarterback that everything just had to be perfect for the Raiders to succeed. Since the 2016 injury, you definitely seen a different side of Derek Carr. And the funny thing is, one of the biggest things that I critiqued him for was the fact that his decision making in the pocket and being able to extend plays. And he even talked about this on his podcast, basically stating the same exact thing that I was talking about at the time, saying that he knows that his superpower wasn't extending plays.
I was a good athlete, but like extending plays and doing that, it's not my superpower.
Yep.
My superpower was seeing a play that wasn't going to work. Yep. Seeing a pass play versus certain coverage that this is dead in the water already. Checking that play and making a normal 7-6 yard gain when it could have been catastrophe.
That said, though, I hope that one day, maybe one day, we get to see Derek Carr come back and just help the team in any way. I don't know what, but just be a part of the team, whether it's in the locker room, whether it's on the field as a coach, or just as a mentor for these players. That said, it's just good to hear from him, and hopefully we see him sometime soon. And I hope that retirement is doing good for him moving forward. Now, I bring this up because we got to hear from Mark Davis on the Talk of the Nation with Baron Davis. And he brought up something that a lot of people were wondering, but we finally get an answer from. Mark Davis basically admitted that he wanted to get Tom Brady back in 2020.
He was supposed to be here in 2020.
Oh, he was?
Well,
man.
that's when our relationship started.
Got it.
Was in 2020 when he was a free agent, and we talked about him coming here to play quarterback, and obviously it was a tough decision for him, and he was close to wanting to come here, but the head coach and general manager decided they wanted to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
So we didn't sign him.
Now, how crazy would that have been, right? And I still remember that whole thing going down because I was doing a lot of content on YouTube at the time. And I will admit that I was one of those guys that did not want Tom Brady. And looking at the roster that we had at that time, I don't think that he would have won a Super Bowl or even got close to a Super Bowl. And I stand by that. But I think the only thing that I forgot or didn't even think about is bringing in Tom Brady over here, especially with Rob Gronkowski coming over here, because Rob said that they were supposed to come to Las Vegas as well.
So Las Vegas would have had Brady and Gronk the year that the Bucs won the Super Bowl, except Gruden blew the deal up.
Having Tom Brady in Las Vegas, he would have definitely hit up a lot of players. A lot of players would have came to play for Tom Brady or just play under him and just be in Las Vegas. But of course, Mike Mayock and John Gruden had cold feet and just stuck with Derek Carr at the end of the day. Now, looking at the situation now, a couple of years later, I definitely do feel like Tom Brady would have made a difference over here playing for this team, and knowing that, you know, Derek Carr wasn't holding his own up and the quarterbacks that came after Derek Carr really didn't show up. I do believe that the Raiders could have been a lot better. But at the end of the day, we're all speaking of what ifs right now. I do want to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about this, about what Mark Davis said? Now, I know that John Gruden said that, you know, everybody thought I didn't want Tom Brady, but I do believe that Mark Davis is telling the truth, and Mike Mayock and John Gruden just didn't want to move on. They just had cold feet at the time. Let me know your thoughts on the situation. Could the Raiders have won a Super Bowl or even got close if Tom Brady came here in 2020? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until next time, this is your boy Samoa Raider, and your boy is Yow.